Hey guys, my name is Devin, this is Spiritual Guitar, and today we have a right hand focused finger picking exercise. This is going to use the PMI tremolo. It's one of my favorite techniques, and I wrote this exercise. I've had a couple students and friends reach out and ask me to cover this and break it down a little more slowly. I really like this exercise because it's simple in our left hand. We're just going to go back and forth between an A minor chord and an E major chord variation, and we're just going to use two fingers for each chord variation. So it's fairly simple in your left hand, which allows us to really focus on our right hand. It's also a bit of a flashy exercise, meaning I think it sounds good. When you start to play it rather quickly, it has a very cool effect, and I think it doesn't really sound as much like an exercise. It starts to sound a little more like a piece or something that you can play out or something that you'll enjoy, not just a stale, boring exercise to practice. Okay, so let's get into the left hand. We'll cover just the chord positions first because they're fairly simple, and then we're going to focus primarily on our right hand for this entire exercise. So we start with an A minor chord, meaning we're going to start with an open fifth string, the open A string, and we're going to put our pinky down on the 7th fret on the D string, on the 4th string. That's your A note, so these are octaves. Same note. Now we're going to take our second finger and put it on the 3rd string, on the G string. That's your C note, your 3rd, minor 3rd. Now we have an open B here, which is actually going to be our 9, so it's a C minor add 9 chord. Gives it a cool, mysterious, to me it's mysterious sounding feel. And then we have an open E string, which is your 1st string. So just two fingers, we want to keep them nice and arched in good, proper left hand technique so that everything can ring out clearly. We have no dead muted strings, and it sounds like this. Now we're going to keep our second finger and our 4th finger down exactly where they are on those strings, but we're going to slide down 1 fret. So very simple move here. We're going from our A minor add 9 chord here, and we're going to slide down 1 fret, keeping our 4th finger on the D string, on the 4th string, and our 2nd finger on this 3rd string, on the G string, and this is going to give us an E major chord. So we have an open E, and then we're going to skip this 5th string, we're not going to play it, and we're going to play our 4th string, which is a G sharp, 3rd string, which is a B, open B for our 5th string, our 2nd string, sorry, B string, and then we have an open E string, our 1st string. So I'm just going to play, we'll skip that 5th string, low 6th string, 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd, 5th. Let's just go back and forth in between those two. So slide your fingers up, so your pinky's on the 7th fret, 2nd finger's on the 5th, and then slide back down, up, down to an E major. So those are our first 2 chords. And then we're going to keep this exact same chord shape, and we're just going to slide it up 2 frets. So 1, 2, right? So now your 2nd finger is on the 7th fret, and your pinky is on the 9th fret. I don't know if you guys can hear this noise in the background. I gave Daya a bone so that he wouldn't come here for pets and interrupt the lesson, and now I just hear him gnawing on the bone in the background. I'm regretting it, but that's okay. So we have we're going from an E major to another E major variation. So we start with our A minor, slide down 1 fret to an E major. Now, from this E major, we're going to go up 3. We went up 2 from the A minor before, but from the E major, 1, 2, 3. Second finger's on the 7th fret, 4th finger's on the 9th fret. Same strings, 4th and 3rd string. Now we're going to slide up 2 more frets, and we're going to move our fingers for the first time. And we're just going to simply go into this chord shape where we are on, let's see, our 3rd finger is on the 10th fret on the 4th string. So you can tell the 12th fret is where the neck meets the guitar. So we go 12, 11, 10. So that's our 10th fret, and then this is still our 9th fret. So we have our second finger on the 9th fret on the 3rd string, and our 3rd finger on the 10th fret on the 4th string. Now this is an A minor variation, so we play with our A minor chords. We're going to have our root bass note be on the 5th string, open A. And those are our E minor, or our E major and A minor chord variations. So we have the A minor with our 3rd finger on the 10th fret and our 2nd finger on the 9th fret, like this. And then we have another E major variation with our pinky on the 9th fret, middle finger on the 7th fret. A minor add 9, we can just call it an A minor variation as well, where we're just sliding down 2 frets. Our pinky's now on the 7th fret, middle finger is on the 5th fret. And then if we slide down one more, we're in our E major chord shape. So we'll just go up the neck, down the neck, one time. E major, A minor, E major, A minor, E major, A minor, E major. And those are the chord shapes for the first part, for the A part, we'll call it. Then we're going to jump down to an F major chord shape with a half bar. We'll throw that up on the screen for you as well. And we're going to slide up to a G major chord shape with a half bar. And then to an A minor chord shape with a half bar. The second time that we play that, we're going to go from the F major chord shape to the G major chord shape to a C major, just a half. We're not going to put our 3rd finger on the C. We're going to put our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string, and our 1st finger on the 1st fret, 2nd string. So our C to an A minor, F major to a G, A minor, F major to a G, to a D minor with an F on the bass, A minor, E major, E major 7, dominant 7, back to an A minor. And those are our chord shapes for the left hand. Now let's jump into the right hand. It's a fairly simple pattern, but it's going to take some time. You should start off playing very slowly, use a metronome. I'm actually going to link also a couple YouTube videos in the description of this video for This is Classical Guitar. There's a guy named Bradford on there, and it's his channel. He does a fantastic job of breaking down right hand technique and position, showing you exactly where it should be. He uses pictures, videos, does a much better job than I could. So if you're just starting out, before you get into this pattern, make sure you're holding the guitar properly and your right hand is where it needs to be so you can do this properly, and then come back and start playing this exercise. So I'll link those down there. Check those out first, and then we'll get back into our PMI tremolo. So the PMI tremolo, basically the P, your thumb, is always alternating between bass notes and bass strings. And the MI, middle finger followed by your index finger, are always kind of running in the background. My guitar teacher explained these to me as the runners, and I really like that way of thinking of them. They're always quietly running in the background while your thumb is alternating between bass notes. So in this case, with the A minor chord shape, we're just going to stick with one chord shape in the beginning to get this down, and I recommend that you practice it this way as well. Keep it simple, focus on just your right hand first, And that's why we keep the left hand chord shape so simple. So your thumb is on the 5th string, your A string, and your M is on the 1st string, your open E string, and your I is on your B string, your 2nd string. The open E and the open B are always going to be open strings. What your thumb is going to do is bounce between the strings that you're playing that you have your left hand fingers pressed down. So it's kind of emphasizing the notes that change, while in the background, it's always this open, it's always these two notes. So just practice at first. Let's just do M-I, M-I. The space between the notes is nice and even. They're both the same volume. Now let's incorporate our thumb. So we're going to pluck our thumb on the 5th string. M, I. Thumb, M, I. P, M, I. P, M, I. Now, what I'm doing here is something called preparation. I learned this studying classical growing up, and what that basically means is I'm preparing my fingers on the strings to play them before it's time to play them. So my first note that I'm plucking is my thumb. So as I pluck my thumb, I'm preparing my middle finger on this open E string and getting it ready. As I strike my middle finger, my index swings out and lands on this 2nd string, and this is getting ready. So it's preparing. Now, you want to play this nice and slowly. Be very mindful about this. It's not very comfortable or natural at first. But the more that you prepare your fingers and get them used to getting into place just a fraction before you need to play the note, you're going to start doing this unconsciously, subconsciously, and you're going to have that muscle memory, and your fingers are going to start getting into place before you even need them to be. And this is going to really unlock that speed, and you're going to play a lot more quickly and a lot cleaner than you were before. So take it slow, use a metronome, and prepare your fingers before you strike them. As I strike my index, my thumb comes down. Once you have this down, we're going to start alternating our bass notes with the thumb. So we go from our 5th string to our 3rd string. Let's just do that over and over. 5th string, 3rd string, 5th string, 3rd string. Once you have that down, no, actually, before we move on, you're skipping over this 4th string with your thumb. This might be the first time that some of you are doing this, and you want to make sure that you're not introducing too much movement with your thumb. You don't want your thumb jumping over the string like this. You want it close and tight, just barely grazing the string, because minimal movement gives us maximum efficiency. We want to be as efficient as we can as we're playing it. It's going to tighten up our playing, allow us to play more quickly, and a lot more cleaner. So just practice at first, if this is tricky for you, going back and forth with your thumb. Whoops. See, it's not that. Even I make mistakes. Whoop. 5th string, 3rd string, 5th string, 3rd string, 5th string, 3rd string. When you're doing this, keep your middle and your index fingers in place to get used to having your hand there. Now the next bass note that we're going to introduce is the 4th string. So let's just stick with our thumb for now and get that pattern down. 5, 3rd string, 4th string, 3rd string, 5th string, 3rd string, 4th string, 3rd string. Now let's bring in our runners, M and I. 5th string, M, I. 3rd string, M, I. 4th string, M, I. 3rd string. Now, I'm playing that a little more slowly, and I think you should practice it that way as well first, because you really want the bass note to stand out. You want to emphasize that. So you want to play it a little more loudly with your thumb. You want your M and I to be a little more quiet, and you can give it some more space, and you want to make sure that that bass note is sustaining and ringing out over those runners. So. And now you just shift your fingers down to the E major chord. And the only difference is our thumb, instead of playing the 5th string, is going to play the 6th string. 6th string, 3rd string, 4th string, 3rd string. Now we're jumping 2 strings because we're going from our 6th string to our 3rd string. So practice that. It might be easier because there's no string above the 6th string for you to worry about hitting. So you have a little bit more liberty, a little more wiggle room with your thumb there. And just go back and forth between those 2 chords. When you're playing this at first, when you're practicing this at first, you want to practice it slowly, have even spaces between each note, and you want each note to be the same volume, which should be loud at first. Once you have everything nice and loud and evenly, then you want to play everything as quietly as possible. What we're doing here is mastering the dynamic range. We're getting used to playing things very loudly. We're getting used to playing things very quietly. So when you're playing this properly, you want it to breathe and swell. You start quiet, then you swell up, crescendo, and then you go back down to quiet. Kind of bring some musicality to the piece or to the exercise. Same pattern here. What I'm doing with my thumb actually is I'm going 4, 3, 3, 4th string, 3rd string, 3rd string, just going right in between your thumb. Thumb, M, I, third string, third M, I, fourth M, I, third M, I, third M, I, fourth M, I, third M, I, third M, I, fourth M, I, third M, I, third M, I. And that's my PMI tremolo right hand focused exercise. I hope this helps. There is a second section that uses a different finger picking pattern that I'm going to cover in a later video. If you'd like me to break down this F, G, A minor a bit more, leave me a comment, shoot me a message, and I can reach out and help you out with that. Or I'll post just a separate lesson. But thank you for watching. I hope this helps and it's enjoyable. My name is Devin. This is Spiritual Guitar. Don't forget to like and subscribe.